We have a chart here looking at other cities throughout Europe, Frankfurt, Paris, Dublin, seeing where these jobs might be going. UBS and Goldman Sachs committing to send 2,500 jobs to Frankfurt, HSBC sending 1,000 to Paris. While we have this period of sort of government uncertainty, waiting on the election in France, waiting on this snap election in the UK, what are banks doing at this point? Is what Larry Fink is describing emblematic of the rest of the financial sector? Are most people taking a wait-and-see approach?
I think yes, that is true up to a point, but we are getting to a situation where wait and see is for some banks at least turning into, we're going to have to do something pretty soon. We are getting to the point where we know now for sure that the UK will be leaving the European Union in 2 years' time. But I think it's true that the election, the decision to have the snap election does change the game to a certain extent. There will be a hope among the bankers that Theresa May will show her hand at least a little bit on the kind of Brexit that she's actually pushing for and put some details into the election manifesto. But having said that, she was very clear today in the interviews that she did after making that announcement yesterday that she's not going to be boxed in on Brexit. She's going to be a little bit vague on this because she wants to keep some wiggle room for herself. So bankers are getting to the point where they're going to have to make some decisions. But in terms of looking for clarity from Theresa May, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
What did we hear from her today? We, of course, heard the speech yesterday outside 10 Downing Street. Did we learn anything new from the remarks that she gave in Parliament today?
Very little. I mean, I think, again, what we learned today is that she's a politician who famously keeps her cards close to her chest, and her plan is to get through an entire election campaign without really giving too much away about the concrete details of what she's going to demand from the European Union. So, her view going into this is that her lead is so commanding that she doesn't need to debate with the leader of the opposition. She doesn't need to put that much on the table. She's just going to try and ride it out and hope that this majority of maybe as many as 100 seats comes to her rather than her having to go and fight for it.
You mentioned she's not going to debate the opposition. What's this campaign going to look like? What are these next few weeks going to look like? We're not going to have the flash of a big TV debate, it sounds like.
That's true, but I mean, this will be, probably for the first time in 40 or even 50 years, this will be the first election in the UK since the early 70s that's fought on one issue, and that issue will be Europe. That issue will be what kind of Brexit are we looking for. So on the one hand, you will have the Conservative Party, certainly the right wing of the Conservative Party, saying vote for the Conservatives and you will get a hard Brexit. And then in the middle, then you have the Labour Party, who are split down the middle in terms of what kind of Brexit the UK should have. You have the Liberal Democrats, who practically got wiped out in the last election, but this is a huge opportunity for them. They would probably have another referendum to ask the British people, are you really sure on Brexit? So if you're pro-Remain, the Liberal Democrats are certainly going to be putting out their stall for you. But then the big, the real opposition in some ways, you could argue, are the Scottish nationalists. They're going to be coming out very hard, and they're going to turn this into a referendum on Scottish independence. So the whole Scottish theme is going to be a massive one as well in the course of this campaign.